This is episode 180 of the Focused Mindset Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about when you know that you need to get started on something and you're putting it off, you are finding excuses. We're going to talk about how you can just get started and a whole bunch more. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. This is the podcast where you learn how to build stronger connections and have better conversations using the solution-focused approach. I'm Cher Kretz. I'm a school counselor and a solution-focused life coach, and each week we learn new strategies so that we can build our families strong and be the person that we were always meant to be. You can learn more about our products and services by going to thefocusedmindset.com or hop over to Amazon to get 30 Days to Higher Hopes. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I am so excited to talk to you guys today because I finally get to announce that one of my big time goals is going to happen. A long time ago, I wrote in a journal, one of my first journals that were about kind of like my future journals. I call it my focused journals. Before I even had a website, before I had a podcast, I wrote, one day I'm going to do a TED Talk. Well, guess what? The day has come. I am going to do a TED Talk. It's actually a TEDx talk, which means that it's at a local arena. And that means that that local arena got approved from the larger TED, company. I guess you'd call it a company. And they said, yes, do an event in your local area. This one's going to be in Ocala, Florida. It's in Central Florida on November 11th. So I put my official announcement out on my Instagram this last week at Share at the Focused Mindset, if you want to look that up. And it's something that I'm going to have to focus on. I'm definitely going to be meeting with speaking coaches and learning all the proper ways that I need to accomplish this talk. So since it's my very first one, I need to be able to accomplish this successfully. And this is a lot of hard work that goes into things like this. But I'm excited, and I was so excited to be able to share it with all of you listeners, that some of you have been with me since day one. Some of you remember the first episode. If you don't remember the episode, no need to go back and listen. They're kind of cringy. I listen and go, wow, but we all start somewhere. And when we have something burning inside of our heart that we really don't know how it's going to come about, we really don't know if and when and what we would do, there is a lot of power in us writing it down. And our mind begins to revisit it and think about it and look for ways that it could happen. And that's what happened with me. And I just knew around the first of this year that this is a goal that I want to even put more energy into. And with my speaking coach and the things that I invested in, you have to invest in yourself sometimes to be able to help your accomplish your goals. Now here we are. So you're going to hear more about it as we can share. And on November 11th, if you're in Florida, let me know and you can get a ticket. And I'll leave a link to the website in my show notes as we move forward. You'll be able to do that. I think they go on sale in mid-September, the tickets for that event. So in revisiting the whole subject of journaling in my own mind, I knew it was important for us to talk about it as well. And as you know, I was so inspired by the fact that journaling makes such a huge difference in changing your mindset to be more solution focused. I published 30 Days to Higher Hopes. And in that book, I talk about a time when I had very low hope. And I was in a place where I felt like, I don't know even how I can get out of my car and go to work right now. That's where I was at. And I just put my head on the steering wheel and just zoned out. And And I remember that I just called out to God and I was just saying, what is happening? How can I go on? Are you there? And I felt a very real presence just say, you need to do the next right choice. What is the next right choice that you can do in your life? It's something that I already knew. It's something that I probably taught in my counseling many times, but that day it spoke to me in my heart. And I realized that stepping forward into a preferred future, into being a version of ourselves that's authentic to what we really want to be, it takes just doing the next right choice. It doesn't take knowing everything that's going to happen and every way it's going to get there. It just takes taking the next right choice. And then that leads to the next right choice. Deliberately choosing the things that maybe are a little uncomfortable, are a little bit out of the ordinary for you, but something in your heart tells you, I need to do that. And you're not going to know the payoff for doing those uncomfortable things until you step into that future. When I really think about the fact that some of the most rewarding parts of my life I would have missed if I didn't listen in that moment and hear that important advice to my heart to say, you're going to soar forward. And in order to soar forward, you got to start. You've got to take that very first step. You've got to find that courage to not just say, ick, things are bad. No, to say, okay, what is the next right choice? And I wrote about this in the last section of the journal because I felt like after you do visit your own thoughts without judgment and you do rate yourself and start to reconnect with who you are and the better version of yourself and who you want to be, that final step of starting is the part where many people completely fall apart. And instead, they go back to, oh, maybe I just need to watch a few more YouTube videos. I need to revisit, a little more training. Yeah, that's what I need, more training. Or, really I haven't had enough sleep lately. Maybe I need to make sure I get that on track first. Really, the starting is what we need to do, not the avoiding anymore. And that it comes from a place of saying, I'm worth it. And whether I feel like I am every day, taking that step forward is going to show that I am, because action does amazing things to our brain. It's like once we do move, have you ever had to write a huge paper, anything like that, and you have writer's block? As soon as you sit down and have some ideas, even if those ideas came from ChatGPT, wherever they come, you have this group of ideas and you're like, oh my goodness, my mind is turned on. I'm going. I have a story that I want to share with that. I have a different way I want to word this up. I want to share it. This is the part of your brain that you want to tap into. And I want you to tap into it right now. Even if you're not going through 30 days to higher hopes, you can hop on Amazon and get it so you can have a guided practice towards higher hopes. But even without that, you can write it down on a piece of paper right now. And one way that we can keep ourselves in check is to be our own cheerleader. That's another thing I do in this last section is I encourage you to write letters to yourself. These are things that help us reprogram our mind to have the focused mindset that we want. It's not only about having a focused mindset. It's like, what are you focusing on, right? We can have a focused mindset. We can be focused on the completely wrong thing. We can be focused on a past relationship or an unhealthy habit or how much we dread whatever it is, or avoidance. What we're focusing on is equally as important. And we have that in our mind. Who's going to be the best cheerleader for that? It's something that's in our heart. Nobody else's. And you can be a cheerleader for yourself. And you can also allow that to be your prayer time, your reflection time, your time to say, I need to think in line with my values. And you do that by writing. You can as if you're writing to yourself, dear Cher, and then you go for it. And I'm going to read you the prompts that I have in this journal because you are hopefully going to try that out this week and see how much of a difference it makes in your ability to believe that you can do this. The first letter that you can write on day 1 is, Dear, fill in your name. I understand what you have been through, and I am here for you. And then you write it in that sense, just like you were writing it to a friend that's going through the exact struggle that you have gone through. Many times we forget that we know really deep down the next things that we need to be doing. But if we were telling a friend about the same problem, we would know exactly what to say, how to say it, how to give advice. But when it's us going through it, all of a sudden, we're all mixed up with our own swirling thoughts, our doubt, our fears. And that coming into play allows us to sometimes be our enemy rather than our friend. And we fail to just speak to ourselves like we would a friend. Because in your heart of hearts, you know the starting point. You know the next thing that you need to do because you've been living with yourself your whole life. It's that you're not tapping into it for yourself. And once that happens, you're going to feel as you wake up, you're going to want to put your phone down. You're going to want to answer some questions differently about where you want to go in your life. And then you're going to feel empowered when you do go forward. So this next journaling is all about acknowledging where you're at and just being the person for yourself that you need to be. Acknowledging with this prompt, I understand where you've been, what you've been through, and I am here for you. And then you can write a page or two about what that brings up within you. And the next day, you write, Dear, your name, I realize your struggles. You continue to move forward every day, and I will always support your hopes. And then write whatever comes to you with that prompt. Day 3, you write, Dear, and your name, I promise to cheer you on each day. I promise to soar and remember your best hopes. So it's kind of like you're in it together. It's kind of like you're holding hands and you're saying, all right, we're doing this. You're holding your own hand. Have you seen that? I ran across a video recently where this sweet little, I don't know, maybe 2-year-old at the most, she pushes her father or something down a slide. And then no one's there to push her down the slide. So she puts her little hands on her own little back and pushes herself down the slide. Well, there's a visual picture of being your own cheerleader. And that's what I'm encouraging you to move forward with today. If you are feeling as though you want to raise your hope, I wrote 30 Days to Higher Hopes for you. Maybe it's not until right now that you realize that having a higher level of hope could help you get out of a funk, get out of a rut, whatever it is. I wrote it after doing so much research on the power of walking towards your preferred future rather than living in your fears. So hop on Amazon. You can grab that. And then also on my website, I have a special offer where I provide the book. I sign it. I send it to you. And then I also provide you audio and video that you can watch to help encourage you, kind of like a training by me. And it's just a very reasonably priced. It's kind of like you get a little one-on-one coaching with me along the way. And it's fun. It's a way that we can connect. And I love hearing back how it has touched you. So don't forget to hop over to my website, look for where you can connect with me and just let me know. It's so great. Now, some of you guys, for one reason or another, can't imagine why, might not be a part of my texting community yet. Summer is up. So come September, I start to send you guys the regular hope notes, the regular encouragement, some updates. It's going to be even more so because leading up to this TED Talk, my email group is going to be pretty dang important because it's those people that I send the drafts to, the practices to now and then, like ideas, you guys get that first. So please check the link. Or if you hop over to my website, thefocusedmindset.com, you see up in the corner of the, if you're on the mobile version, I don't know where it is, but you have to click on one of the little buttons that says to join the community or join the Hope Notes. It's absolutely free. But when you do, then you're going to get my emails straight from me. All right. So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being a part of my life as you walk through my journey of transformation. Then we're both able to do that together. It's kind of like we're a little team. So it's time for me now to head off. And until next time, keep in touch and take care. Before you go, don't forget to check the show notes where I'm going to leave the links to my social media and the different places you can find me. And I want to invite you to be a part of my email community. It's absolutely free. And this year I'm doing so much writing and so much reflecting, and I want to send things directly to you. I send the special notes to my email community, and you can email me right back. You have a direct line to ask me questions without any barriers of a website or anything. Check the show notes for that link or go to thefocusedmindset.com. And if you click on getting the journal prompts, you also automatically are able to be a part of my community. And if you're interested in supporting this program, there's 3 ways to do it. 1, make sure you're following this program so it comes up as one of your favorites. 2, share it either on your social media or with someone you love straight to their email. And the 3rd is to leave a review, and I love reading those. By supporting this program, we're helping people be solution focused. See you next week.